in this month's behind the scenes, I want to take you through a photo shoot in the blossoms. Every year they come and they're so beautiful. And I went to one of our local parks. It's actually a cemetery, and I went to this beautiful walkway, which is just blossom trees down both sides. And I wanted to make the most of my pregnancy. I was 39 weeks pregnant, and I just wanted to kind of document that kind of special time just before your baby comes. So I went out and I did this beautiful photo shoot. I went and bought this lovely dress. I bought the dress before I knew I was going to do this photo. So I bought an orange dress, and the cherry blossoms are pink. So I kind of had in my head, I really wanted to do like a kind of epic, beautiful portrait with my 105, my Sigma Art 105, because I've taken this portrait before, not maternity one, but me walking down some cherry blossom pathway down south, and I come across this beautiful pathway here. There's a couple here, which is really great. So yeah, I've played around with this kind of self-portrait before, using my remote trigger, and I just wanted to do one of me, obviously with my massive bump, and I kind of wanted to have like a flippy dress one. So me and my partner decided to go a couple of weeks back and just, before the blossoms fall, because they literally only last like 2 weeks at their peak. So I decided before the baby comes, she's here now, so I'm glad I went out and did it. I thought it would be good to just quickly get out and just do the photo shoot. So actually the day we went, it was very, very sunny, and it was kind of, the clouds were coming every so often, so luckily the cloud covered. I find shots like this, you need to pick the right weather, and also spaces where cherry blossoms are, they're usually places where people love to go walking, dog walkers, people love to take pictures. Every time I've been to one of these places, there's someone taking a selfie, or there's a wedding or whatever. So you have to pick the right times to go. Otherwise you'll be editing a lot of people out or having to move. So the day we went to this cemetery, I didn't realise that cars could drive, and so I was setting up the tripod and getting focus and everything, and then suddenly a car would come, so that was quite stressful. Luckily it was just me and my partner. I was feeling quite tired because big bump and everything, but I got the shot, and I also took some nice ones of me and my partner together because I thought that'd be quite nice. But yes, with the intention of changing the colour of the dress, because it was orange. I wanted a pink one, I think. I couldn't find a pink one I liked. And then I had an idea of buying this orange dress and then doing one in golden hour. But there's just no weather. It's beautiful now, typically. Now baby's out. But yeah, it was just really cloudy every evening. So I just decided, I'm quite good at Photoshop with certain things, so I could colour change it. So bearing that in mind, I just went out with the orange dress, took some shots, and I will show you a bit behind the scenes, talk you through it, and I will show you a bit of the editing and how I changed the colour of the dress. This wasn't my favourite colour edit. It was actually a bit difficult. There's some colours that change really well to other colours and some that don't, and for some reason in my head I thought orange would be easy to change to pink, but it was actually a bit difficult because in some of the highlights it was getting a bit funny. But I'll show you how I did it. I'm one of these people that likes to do things quite quickly, not always to kind of commercial standard. You might be complete opposite. You might want to do things properly and know that the pixels are all like not damaged and stuff. But for me, it was just a portrait for myself. And the other thing that I have issues with at the minute, my Sigma art needs to be calibrated. So trying to get focus sometimes is a real pain. So because I use my remote trigger, I had to get my partner to help me get focus, and he can't really see very well. And it's only when I get it on the computer that I can actually see if it's quite sharp in focus. So yeah, anyway, I'll take you through it all. I'll show you what I did, show you the beautiful blossom trees, and yeah, a bit of editing. So I thought I'd start by showing you the dress that I bought. I bought it on Amazon. I've always been a bit skeptical of certain dresses on Amazon, but you know, in the past I've known loads of photographers to go here for kind of client dresses, and so I thought I'd try this beautiful orange dress. It looks nice. There's a little video, and I thought, you know, at the end of the day, if I don't like it, just send it back. So it's $48.99, so it's not the cheapest, but there's a few sizes, and it actually was quite, you know, true to size. So when I received it, I was quite happy. I bought a size that was actually quite big, but then I was pregnant, so I thought, you know, at least it would cover the bump. But as you can see, it's, you know, it's beautiful fabric, 2 layers of fabric, and also an underskirt. And it's really light and airy. And also what I really like is that it's so long and so flowy. So it's perfect for those kind of like magic shoots. And it's got really nice sleeves. And it's just nice, light and airy. And, you know, it comes in lots of different colours. So I definitely recommend this dress. It's, you know, there is a size guide, and again, because it's Amazon, you can just, you know, send it back if you don't, if it doesn't fit. So yeah, definitely worth buying. It's the store is Ever Pretty on Amazon. I will put a link in this video anyway, so that, you know, you can have a look yourself. But yeah, definitely lovely for photo shoots. So here is the park cemetery that I decided to photograph at. This is the first time I've actually been to this place, and I was so pleasantly surprised. I've seen photographs taken of it in my area on my local pages, so I knew that this was going to be good for my bump. So we just went for a nice little wander. I decided which end I wanted to photograph with this kind of walkway. And as you can see, it's just the blossoms are falling down, which actually kind of covered the floor, which made it so beautiful and perfect for the photo shoot. So the day was quite sunny in some places. There was lots of clouds, so I had to kind of begin setting up, which is a chore in itself when you're like 39 weeks pregnant. And yeah, it was quite tricky because once I set it up, I had to get focus, and I didn't realise that actually this pathway is also a road for kind of members of the public coming in to visit family members, you know, of to visit the, you know, their loved ones' graves and things. So a couple of times I actually set up, got focus, and then had to move the tripod, which was a bit of a pity. But once I got it all set up, I then got my dress on, which I'm kind of, I am used to getting ready in public. I'm not shy. I've done this before when I was a model. It's just, some people I find this quite embarrassing, but you know, as long as you're kind of discreet and stuff, and you know, wear things that kind of cover you up, then it's no issue. Just do it, and nobody will think otherwise. You know, people are more intrigued in what you're doing than, you know, thinking, oh gosh, you know, what is this crazy person doing getting dressed in the middle of in the middle of a cemetery. And you know, it's totally worth it when you get a beautiful result. So once I was dressed,
I then had to walk and find a good focus point with my remote trigger. And this was actually a bit tricky because I wanted to be barefoot. And I then had to kind of take my shoes off and walk barefoot. But it was actually really painful. So I ended up putting my shoes on, then kicking my shoes out of the shot and just trying to get focus. It was really tricky getting focus today for some reason. It was, I had to get my partner to just keep checking the back of the camera and just getting, as soon as I could get focus, then it meant that I could just get on with the shot. I really wanted a kind of beautiful shot of me just standing there and then flipping my dress. I actually wanted my partner to do the dress flipping bit and get out of the shot. That's what I kind of do for weddings. But unfortunately, I needed him to just check that I got a focus and just be the eyes for the tripod for the back of the camera while I was just kind of desperately trying to like flip this beautiful dress in the air. It worked completely fine, but because I had the remote trigger, it was hard to do delay and then get the timing right with the flip. So I had to actually just kind of hold my bump and hold the remote trigger against my tummy. Now in the final shot, actually, you can kind of see it, but I'm not too fussy. I just kind of try to hide it as much as possible. I actually only did this kind of shot for about 5 minutes because, again, I was quite heavily pregnant and it's quite tiring, and it was actually a really hot day. One of the first kind of hot days in May, that, you know, the hottest days of the year so far. So I could only do like one thing a day and then I have to go home and nap. So but I'm so pleased that I kind of got out and did this shot because I was worried that I wasn't going to make the most of the pregnancy. And she came not long after this photograph was taken. Here are some of the images that I picked up, my favourite ones. You can see the dress was very, very orange. So I'm just going to show you some of my favourites. I'm going to talk about why they're my favourites and just a bit of the kind of issues I had with focusing, and then I'll take you into Photoshop and show you kind of how I changed the colour. So I was so happy. The Sigma 105, that's what I was using with my Canon 5D Mark III. It just creates this most beautiful compression, and you can see, you know, the depth is amazing. I shot at 1.4, ISO 100, and, you know, the day was quite bright, so 1/2000. So it just, the 105 just gives a real like nice dreamy look, and you know, it's quite an expensive lens, but it's just my kind of go-to for these kind of portraits. The 35mm just doesn't have the same kind of effect, same compression. I love my 35mm for details, up close stuff, portraiture, but when it comes to, you know, walkways, pathways and compression with flowers, my 105 hands down beats it. So I really the focus was actually pretty good. I think when we was looking at kind of back of the camera stuff, I wasn't sure if it was getting focus, and, you know, slightly to the left or slightly to the right just kept skipping, and I'm not sure why that was happening, but it was actually fine. As you can see, it's very, very much in focus. So it was just kind of picking a shot that I thought was really beautiful. And actually, at the time, when I was looking at these and when I edited them, this is on the 19th of May. It's now the 3rd of June. And it's I'm only just getting around to kind of editing and doing this kind of making up this video. So at the time, obviously I was very pregnant, and I was looking at these images thinking, gosh, I look big and I felt really frumpy. And it's surprising now I've had the baby that, you know, it's only 10 days. My baby's only 10 days old, and as soon as I looked at these photos, I'm thinking, wow, I look great. I miss that bump, and it's amazing how, you know, having that massive baby bump can make you feel very just different to, you know, when you're on the other side. So I'm so glad I decided to go out and make the effort to take these photos, because I was panicking that I hadn't taken very many photos at all. So I spent the last kind of week of my pregnancy just going and taking photos with the energy that I had, because I knew I'd regret it if I didn't, and I'm glad I did, because actually my baby was born on the 24th, so this was only, you know, 5 days before my baby came. And actually I went out and did stuff because I was having contractions, and I thought that baby would come early, like all my others have. So anyway, enough about that. But yeah, so some of them I didn't really like the kind of angle. As you can see, this has misfocus, but some of them aren't as flattering angles, and some of them, yeah, a lot of them actually were lovely but just missed focus a little bit. And then I think this is the one I actually picked for the final. I just like how I am stood. I like that there's something kind of bird-like about this, the way that this has kind of come out. And I like how my legs are positioned. As you can see, my remote trigger is there. It's kind of well hidden in the edit, but yeah, it's and actually this one ended up not being as in focus. I think it's more in focus here, but I wasn't too bothered. I just wanted to sharpen that up. So this was my final final image that I exported to edit in Photoshop, and I will show you how I kind of colour changed the dress, which was actually a bit tricky. Again, this was quite a nice one. I think my arm looked a little bit awkward there. So yeah, I just, again, same with this. There was quite a few I really loved, but I think I kind of liked my bump being more to the side. So it was obviously a maternity photo shoot. But some of these are really nice. I think I might go out again, not on a maternity shoot, and kind of do another kind of dress flippy one. But yeah, there was a couple that just kind of walked past, and I decided to take a photo of them because they were both kind of wearing pink, so I thought that was quite sweet. I'm going to pop the picture in one of my local Facebook pages to kind of find who they are and see if they want the photo. But yeah, I thought it was quite nice. There's a couple more of these ones. Yeah, some of these are really nice. But then, yeah, I think every so often I had to move, as you can see, that was there, and then I had to move the camera because one of the cars came down. And then I decided to take some with my partner because we've got very few pictures of me. And I kind of wish I'd booked a maternity photographer now, but I just wasn't in a very good place mentally. And sometimes, when you're a photographer, you just kind of do things yourself. So it was good. And I'm glad we got these pictures, and actually they're quite lovely. They just need a bit of editing because I've just put a preset on these pretty much, and they need lots of tweaking and colour changing. But, we've got the memories. I wonder what actually this looks like in black and white. Probably not as nice. Oh, it's quite nice though, actually. I think everything looks great in black and white, doesn't it, when it comes to compression and texture. They're quite beautiful. So yeah, I've got these nice memories for our baby Violet when she's older. And I will have a go at editing these because it would be nice to have a print of these ones, I think. Yeah, so there's some of my favourites, and yeah, I'm just glad I went out and took them, really. So right, on to editing, refining and colour changing the dress in Photoshop. So this isn't the final image I chose, but this is the PSD I'm just going to work on for you, just to show you how I colour changed the dress. Now, my technique isn't the best. It's quite quick. I play around with different things, and as I mentioned previously, I thought orange was going to be easier to change to pink, but actually it was a little tricky. So I'll just show you how I do it, and then different ways you can colour change. There's so many different ways in Photoshop you can change colours, and there are, some things take a lot longer to do it well. It just depends how much time you've got and how much time you want to spend on it. So I always create a new layer, and if I'm going to do colour changing, I tend to do this after I've imported from Lightroom into Photoshop. I do this before everything, just so that if for any reason it's not going to work, I haven't done all of the other edits, and it's just easier to do the bigger things first, like colour changing. And yeah, so sometimes I'll go straight into filter and camera raw filter and just start there, really. This way then, you can work on, because although it looks like orange, it's actually reds and perhaps yellows as well. And going into camera raw filter, you can just do some basic tweaks and then come back to this layer and then remove what you've done. So let's zoom in there. So let's go to the colour mixer. So we've got the reds and the oranges here. So you can just do the extreme and you can see there's yellows behind there. So reds and oranges. So I always play around with hues. Again, it can be a bit hit and miss, and sometimes I'll do something and then I'll go back and think, actually no, I'll just completely remove that and then try a different way. You can use you can select the brush and select the area you want or the subject. I just tend to kind of wing it, really, or use a brush. This way I just kind of, if I just start, then I'll think, okay, I want it pink, so what is pink? See, as you can see, if you go down the hues, you can see like the highlights start getting a bit funny, and you just want to be careful that you're not just going to ruin the pixels. So yeah, that's quite pink, and you can play with the saturation. See, that's quite nice, but it's kind of brighter than I wanted, and as you can see, it does an overall image. So what you'll end up doing is you'll let's just do the tweaks first. I think it was a more dusty pink, wasn't it? I kind of wanted to kind of match this kind of pink, but not too much. That's too red. That's quite orangey. And then saturation. Not too much saturation. Let's find a nice kind of sweet spot. Before and after. So what I tend to do is press OK. If I'm only just working on the colour, that's it. And it will all look horrendous. Don't worry about that. And then I will press mask and then Command I to invert it. and then I will work on the layer. So again, you could have just pressed the subject and just pressed the dress, but I like to manually do it. I think it's just because I'm an artist. I like to actually like go in there manually and do it myself. So again, white puts on, black takes off. I like to use a soft brush, and I just brush it on when it will let me. And you know, I like to zoom right in, and so yeah, sometimes I will do it really messily, and then I'll go back over. So just like a rough guide. As you see, it goes onto the skin, but that's why you should probably mask it out. I said I'm lazy. And I like to teach people lazy ways, because you know there's ways that you like doing it, and then there's the ways that you know are better for you know really refined editing. But you know it is what it is. I like to you know do things kind of fairly quickly, and I like to teach people that you know you don't have to have. You know, if you want to take a nice photo and you want to put it up fairly quickly, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be epic. It doesn't have to be, you know, super tidy around the edges. You can just have a go, have a play. Because you know, how many people, if you're just putting this on Instagram, and it's not for like kind of commercial purposes or you know for competitions or whatever, like how many people are going to zoom in and be like, oh my gosh, look at that dodgy editing. And I went to see a woman once, a really lovely photographer. She's pretty well known. Her name's Georgia Rose Hardy, if you check out her Instagram. And I went to see her at the photography show in the UK, and you know, I admired her work. I admired her kind of 365 project. And one thing that struck me when she was talking, she said, you know, her editing is shocking if you really zoom in. But her work looks like amazing. It looks really, really good. But actually, you know, she was showing us kind of, you know, things that weren't all what they seem. And you just suddenly realise, actually, you know, sometimes just when we're on our little Instagram squares, there's mistakes, and you know, some things are rough around the edges. And we're just, I think, sometimes we're too much perfectionists. So. Okay, so that's the dress, and I will go in and use the black one and just go around my skin. As you can see, it starts to bleed there, and that's why you just alternate between black and white. But I'll just show you. I'll zoom out and show you what it looks like. I think this actually is a bit darker pink than the one I've actually edited, but that was just one of the ways that you can use. So, and then I think that's what I did, yeah. So I actually, you can do that, or you can get rid of that layer. You can do it again with, I found it hard with curves actually. Usually I can do things with curves, but it just wasn't working for me. Sometimes you can just really play around with them, and that wasn't working, so I got rid of that. I think what I actually did, and the same you can do similar just by doing a hue saturation layer, but you don't have the orange option here, so that's why I used the camera raw. I think what I did was I did this, and then I went into hue saturation, and then I clipped the layer just to this bottom one. So if you press option and click, it will do the edits just to this and not the whole image. Does that make sense? So it will clip to this layer, which is just on the dress. So I'll go to the reds. I'll just bump up the saturation so you can see. See, it's just on the dress. And then I think I just, yeah, see, you can literally go through all of the colours. I think I did that. And let's see if there's any yellows in there. Oh no. And Maybe I did master, that was it. As you can say, once you get the kind of gist of it, like you can literally change your dress to anything. It's cool, huh? But yeah, I think that's probably as close as it was. So yeah, you just have to kind of go around and just go on the layers and make sure you haven't got the skin and you've just got the areas that you want to, and just keep going round. Whee, like that. Oh, and there we go. Looks like I've got really blue hand there. So yeah, once I did that, I then saved it as the kind of just dress one, and then you can see before and after, and then I just kind of flattened it once I'd saved it, and then just started my kind of edits from there. And what I like to do was kind of make these pop a little bit more, because it I think it lost a bit of vibrancy with the settings I used. So just made it pop, and yeah, just did my kind of editing, where not on this image, it was on the other one, but I sharpened my face in the other one and got rid of a few marks, and yeah, made the greens pop a bit too. And there we go, maternity shoot in the Blossoms. And I will hopefully go there next year with my little one and recreate it. I think that will be a really good series. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions or any comments. I'd love to hear them. But yeah, I'll see you next month for June's behind the scenes.